Hi, anyone and everyone. I'm Kim. I own and run the Humble Hermit LLC. Come as you are Oracle, Music Mama 80. I have 2 YouTube channels, a thriving TikTok that went semi-viral in May. I have an Instagram account. I have a Facebook and a business Facebook. Yes, I'm just this naturally gorgeous. This is not a filter. Oh, the wonders of sun. So I left off on the last part talking about getting ready to talk about celibacy journey, and then realized I was going to talk about. Well, I left off on the last part saying I was going to talk about on some of the weird, crazy things that have happened to me in my life, the supernatural things. But then I forgot I needed to do the video about the celibacy. It just kind of makes sense. So we're going to do that video this time around and then the crazy stuff next time around. So, the last time I had sex with another human being was June 8th, 2023. I have been celibate ever since then. I had a little incident in August of 2023 when I got together with a friend of a friend for a date and kind of messed around a little bit, but nothing like some light petting, basically. Yeah, I have not been with another human being since sexually. And it's kind of funny because I have this feeling that for some reason people tend to think that I'm a very overtly sexual being. And I do tend to give off that vibe only because I probably have one of the filthiest minds on the planet. I'm not going to lie. Um, they used to say that a man would have a sexual thought every 30 seconds. How many sexual thoughts can a Kimberly Ann Brown have in 30 seconds? Probably more than a man. I'm just saying. Um, I'm not kidding. And I've always been very sexual. And yes, you would say hypersexual because of all the rapes and the sexual assaults that I've endured, been through, survived. Yes, there is hypersexuality due to that. A lot of us experience that. But I've always just been fascinated with sex. I was always been fascinated with naked men's bodies, naked women's bodies. Always, always. I watch porn. Like I watch porn by myself. I would watch it with somebody else, if anybody had the desire. Although even I couldn't even get the ex-husband to watch porn with me. I don't know what to say. Very smexual, as some readers say. A very sexual being. The funny thing is I didn't lose my actual virginity until I was 30. I think I was 30. I lost my virginity to a man friend of mine who was married with one kid and a kid on the way. And it was a one-time thing. I remember when the one-time thing happened, I thought it was going to be more of like a friends with benefits, and it ended up not being, and that's fine. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that hair. I mean, that just works out better for me, right? My emotional well-being and whatnot. But yeah, I lost my virginity to a married man, my friend. Um, I had a friends with benefits that was actually a guy that went to school with my brother. So he was 3 years younger than me. I dated a guy online for about 3 months and then flew out to meet him in his hometown of Austin, Texas. He lived just outside of Austin. And came home the next day because I found out the guy was a hoarder. I mean, he brought me to his home straight from the airport, and he didn't have sheets on his bed. Um, he had two dogs, two female pugs. They had food bowls on the floor, and they were caked with weeks worth of food. I don't think his electricity worked because he couldn't turn on a light, and it was really dark in there. Now, I will say this, his mom had passed away like the winter before, and it was her home, and he was there taking care of her and all that jazz. So I think he was going through a depression. But you would think when you were meeting the woman that you had been talking to for 3 months and kind of wanted to be in a relationship with, that you might have made some effort to clean your home. Yeah, he did not. I stayed in a hotel that night and went home the next day. And after that, I um, dated the boyfriend who raped me with his drug dealer. And then after that, I met my ex husband. So I have not really led that adventurous of a life, you know? Like people have their own ideas about me, and that's fabulous. You can think whatever you want. But really, I mean, I was a virgin till I was 30, you know? No, don't get me wrong. You know, like I knew how to use the equipment and all that jazz, but I was a virgin till I was 30. Um, it wasn't very hard for me to get back into celibacy mode last year. I mean, I technically was in celibacy mode for 11 years with the ex husband for the most part. So it wasn't that hard to get back into it. And while I was going through that last year, I'm going to play with some cards while I talk. Um, in in August of last year, the end of August, my neighbor's walking her dogs. At the end of August, I can you guys even hear me? Apparently, I forgot to bring this out. Sorry about that. Hopefully, you heard that. At the end of August, I got this feeling like I needed to give up alcohol. And God told me, you need to get rid of all the alcohol in your home. And I was like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I was like, whoa, what are we doing here? Like, what are we talking about here? And I knew that I needed to make sure my home was alcohol free. And I said, okay, fine. Like, you want your way, like, we'll do it your way. But, like, I'm going to drink what alcohol I have at home until it's gone. And then when it's gone, that's it. So, just a little backstory on alcohol. I don't consider myself an alcoholic by any means. However, I do have unhealthy habits with alcohol concerning home. And by that I mean I would literally go out to the store and buy $500 worth of liquor and come home, put it in the cabinet, and not look at it for months, like months. And then one day get up and be like, I'm going to drink every single bottle of liquor in this cabinet until it's gone. And I would literally like come home, on a Friday, and all weekend long, I would just drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. Binge drinking, basically. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's like hoarding liquor and then like one day like, oh, I got to get rid of it. Like it's just got to be gone. Like I don't want it here. Or how about you just don't keep it in your home at all? Cuz that seems a little bit easier, right? A little bit more healthy. Yeah. So, I promised myself, I promised God that I would not keep liquor in the house anymore. In September of 2023, I got a text message from my cousin telling me that my other cousin, their brother, was dying of complications to alcoholism. This was news to me. I had no idea that he was an alcoholic. He supposedly was an alcoholic since he was a kid. And by kid, I mean kid, like very young. I had no idea. My cousin, my male cousin, died in February of this year from complications to alcoholism. I had a clean house in March of this year. I finished whatever alcohol I had left in the house. I wasn't buying anything else. My house was alcohol free. Now, that's not to say that I don't occasionally buy something and bring it home and I drink it. For Memorial Day, I bought 2 tall boy beers and I drank them on Memorial Day, on and off all day. For my birthday, I think I bought like a bottle of wine. I bought something. I think it was a bottle of wine, and I drank that for my birthday. Um, Last night I drank a tiny little bottle of, like the travel size tequila, the sample size tequila, that a friend of mine from work got me in Mexico when she went to Mexico. And I drank that last night. I mixed it with some apple cider, actually. It was actually pretty tasty. But it's funny because I last drank when I went to a Pink concert in August with a friend of mine. That was the last time I drank anything. And last night I drank. Actually, no, that's not true. I drank at the Pink concert, and then I think at the end of August, beginning of September, another friend and I went out because I wanted to see her pictures from her vacation, and I had a margarita. So that was probably like a month and a half ago. Last night, I drank that little bottle of tequila, little tiny little bottle of tequila, and it floored me. Mixed with apple cider, it floored me. I got hot. I got like all like, I was like, this is why I don't drink anymore. And it's true. Like I, for the most part, don't miss it. And I know people probably think like, oh, you're counting the days since your last drink, you're an alcoholic. No, that's not it. Like I count the days because I'm proud of myself for not caving and bringing home alcohol and keeping it in the fridge or keeping it in the cabinet because I don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself in that position. It's okay for me to drink. I'm not, again, I don't think of myself as an alcoholic. I mean, I went out with a friend and had one margarita. I was just fine. Like I wasn't like bringing down the bar, you know? I've never been that type of person. But I've been that type of person to where I drink, like I'll binge drink and I'll drink and I'll drink and I'll drink. Um, when the ex-husband and I were going through the separation and divorce, there was one instance where I was off and it was a weekend and he came home from work. And again, we were separated, but he came home from work and I was like, oh, I made us dinner. And he's like, are you drunk? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, there was no kind of. I was drunk as hell. I made us both dinner and we actually, he went into the living room to watch TV and eat his dinner. So I sat at the dining room table, which is right there, and I was eating my dinner. But when I tell you that I literally got food all over the table and I hardly ate anything and I hardly remember anything. And he said that I got up from the table, left everything there, told him I was going upstairs. I went upstairs. Now, granted, this is like a Saturday night. Like, this isn't, probably like 6, 7 o'clock at night. I went upstairs. I went to my room because I was sleeping in one of the guest bedrooms. And the next thing I know, I wake up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I go in the bathroom and all I'm wearing is a t-shirt. No underwear, no shorts, nothing. T-shirt. Nothing on it. I go into the bathroom and I turn on the light and I'm hungover, maybe even still technically drunk. And I look in the sink and there is, not to be gross, but there is vomit all over the inside of the sink. And I was like, what? Like the husband, now ex-husband, told me at the time that when I went upstairs, I went straight into the bathroom. Sounded like I was throwing up. He didn't come to check on me. I went into my room, apparently took off my pants and my underwear and left my shirt on and got into bed and fell asleep. I don't remember any of that. I was so drunk, out of my mind. I have no idea. None. None. I do, however, remember drinking the 18 shots of tequila and vodka that I mixed. 18 shots. And I might have posted about it on my Facebook account. Yeah. Yep. I do not miss those days at all. I do not miss the binge drinking. I do not miss having alcohol in the house. Occasionally I'm like, oh, I wish I had a glass of wine, or I wish I had this or that, the other. I mean, I could literally run across the street and get something if I wanted to have a drink. And half the time I'm just like, I'm too lazy to even get in the car and go. And that's just the truth. But I do not at all regret having a dry home. Not one bit. I do not regret being celibate for this last year and 3.5, 4 months. I do not regret it at all. Now I got to work on my diet. Not that my diet is horrible. It's not that horrible, honestly. Um, but I do eat a lot of junk food. I'm not gonna lie. And lately I've been eating a lot of sweets. Like, I don't need the sweets. Those apple cider donuts are killing me, man. They're really killing me. But yeah, a year plus of celibacy, no regrets. No regrets whatsoever. And it's funny because I told you guys in another part that I started another OkCupid and Bumble in June when it was my birthday, thinking maybe I would get back out there. And I talked to a few people, but nothing came of it. And again, I don't pay for service, so I can't see people that like me or whatever the case may be. But it's funny because even scrolling through and looking at men and women, like there is absolutely nobody that I would be willing to destroy my peace for. Because when you are celibate, when you pretty much for the most part give up alcohol, when you start to clear out the people from your life that just don't belong there, the ones that are abusive, the ones that talk shit behind your back, the ones that are just never really there for you when you need them anyway, the ones that you constantly give and give and give and get very little in return. When you do all these things, you bring such a peace to your life that you don't want to destroy that for anything. Not for one like kinky one nighter, not for one bottle of gin. Hell no. And it's kind of funny because I probably have the least amount of people in my life right now than I've ever had. And I am at my absolute happiest. What what does that say about humanity? What does that say about me and friends and family? And it's funny because some people will be like, oh, like you don't get out enough, you don't do that. When I want to get out, I get out. Whether I do it by myself or I go out with a friend. Like I go out. Like I do the things that make me happy. If somebody calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm going to go to the rattlesnake show, 3 towns over. Let's go." I have no interest in that. Why would I go? And I'll be like, "No, that's okay. You go ahead without me." Whereas in the past I would probably go and waste 4 hours of my day and then be mad at myself because I went and saw some rattlesnake that I had no interest in. And that was just an example. I don't do that. Like, if it doesn't interest me, then I don't do it. And that's awesome because nobody should ever be made to feel like they have to participate in something that they don't want to participate in. Just like I realized going out there and having sex with people I barely know for what? And I'm just going to be honest. When was the last time a man gave me an orgasm? My ex husband. Probably the second or third year we were together out of 11 years. Like, and the funny thing is like, I can't wait to meet somebody and get in a relationship and do relationship things. I can't wait. Like I want to do that again. I want to be that person again. I want to be that woman because I'm very caring and loving and nurturing and giving. But at the same time, like I'm enjoying my time now by myself because I get to do this. I get to make this documentary about my life, about all the crazy shit that's happened to me. I've written 2 books, 2 short stories, if you want to call them that. My TikTok went semi viral in May. Viral. Over what? A meme that I posted with a picture of the green monster from Monsters Inc. Like, it got 1.2 million views and it was a meme. And I just posted it because I liked it, because it interested me. Like, my life is so peaceful and joyful, and I can't imagine not having this last year to myself. you know? Like if I had never broken up with the friends with benefits and we were still benefiting, I don't think I would be where I am. I don't think I would have had the time. And I don't believe in luck. I believe in fate and destiny and God's will and God's creation. And I'm where He wants me to be. I'm where I want to be. This last year has been amazing. People laugh at me when I say, like, oh, I've been celibate for over a year. Well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? What? Why? Why wouldn't you? And all I gotta say is, as the leaves change color and fall goes into full swing, I can't help but thinking about winter and what that will bring. Because I do like me some snow, as long as I don't have to drive in it. This was part 15.